All right, guys, I'm pretty much furious right now. So last night at UCLA, students were attacked by pro-Israel extremists. I hate calling them pro-Israel because that's actually not fair to the pro-Israel side, and it's not even pro-Israel or pro-Palestine. It should be broken down in terms of people who want peace and people who think that Israel hasn't got enough, hasn't done enough, hasn't killed enough Palestinians. It should keep going in Gaza. Should like 25,000 women and children slaughtered is not enough. So that is not a pro-Israel position, in my opinion. I think that hurts Israel to keep going. So let's call them pro-Israel extremists for the sake of clarity. So they theoretically get all riled up by massive media propaganda in this country over the last week. All think, oh my God, the Jewish students are under attack. You show me a Jewish student who's attacked. Let's go arrest the son of a bitch who attacked him or her. No question about it. Should we protect Jewish students on campus? Of course. Of course we should. That's not a question. The very fact of asking that question, as Piers Morgan did with me today when I was on his show, it makes it seem like, oh, all of you peace protesters are violent and anti-Semitic. So I assume you're okay with attacking Jewish students, but let me ask just in case. No, nobody's okay with that. That's horrible, right? But now at UCLA, the pro-Israel extremists 100% clearly attacked the students and other people there. They're yelling at an old lady, attacking her. They're using sticks, pepper spray, everything you can imagine. And no arrests, none. And now people are talking about, well, that's why you have to shut down the protests at UCLA. So they get attacked, and now they have to get shut down. People have been getting arrested all across the country. Wonderful peace protesters on these college campuses. And I'm going to thank them in a second. They were all getting arrested, but violent thugs who are not even students at UCLA come and attack and bludgeon the students. No arrests. How is this fair, man? This is it open season on anyone who supports Palestinians? And that doesn't mean supports Palestinians over Israelis. It just means, hey, can you please stop killing Palestinians, including innocent women and children? Is it open season on us now? Will the cops come just to arrest us after we've been beaten? Is this still America? Do we have freedom of speech? Or no? The only thing you don't have a right to say in America is that you're for peace in Israel. No. We all have to say Israel's right. It's the most moral army in the world. And if you don't say it and you dare protest Israel, American cops will come and arrest you, assault you, as they did in Texas, as they did in Colombia, and then smear you. Smear you. I'm sick of the smears. I can't stand it anymore. So I'm going to explain that in its entirety in a second. First of all, as always, guys, the live show is at 6 p.m. Eastern, right here on youtube.com/the Young Turks. So Anna, John, everybody else on the show today, they're going to have videos from Colombia. They're going to have videos from UCLA. They're going to have all the context and all the information for you guys. So right now I'm doing a live video because it just happened last night and I'm super animated by it. And a lot of empty words from Karen Bass and other people in LA. Not a single arrest has been made of the people who were actually violent, who actually attacked people. But the peace protesters, they've all been arrested. Not at UCLA, but at Columbia, at University of Texas, at Yale, at Harvard. Everywhere there's protests, they're saying, no, cancel culture to the extreme. You're not allowed to protest Israel. And if you say, oh, no, Cenk, they're just doing it because they want to protect Jewish students. No, I want to protect Jewish students. If you show me some Jewish student being who's harassed or who's attacked in any way, I'll come and help them. We'll all come and help them because we don't want anyone who's innocent who's hurt in any way. And to pick on Jewish students is unacceptable. But you're going to smear 99% of the protesters who are saying, please stop killing innocent people. You're going to smear them all, call them all anti-Semites, all against Jews, all attacking Jewish students, etc. Well, that's nothing but a giant libel, racist smear by almost the entire American media. And of course, almost all the politicians, with the exception of, as usual, Bernie Sanders. and the squad, etc., who have been fair. So look, guys, and I thank you to all. Look, why are we allowed to say this? Why can we say the truth on here? And you could see the videos for yourself. And the LA Times reporters there, everyone who was there said, yes, no question about it. Pro-Israel extremists attacked the students at UCLA. We can say it because of you guys. You allow us to say, hey, you know what? I don't care about corporate advertisers. I don't care about who's in power. I don't care about the politicians. I don't care about the rest of the media. I'm a member of the Young Turks, and I want you to say what is true, not on what's one side or on another side, but what is actually true. So thank you to all the members. Bill Blount just joined. Thank you, Bill. Aaron Botcher, thank you. We're asking you. We're sending reporters. We got a reporter at Columbia right now. Okay, so thank you to all the members that allow us to do this brave, honest show. You guys are the best, and you keep the light in the darkness so that we can actually tell the truth to people. So, guys, I live in LA, and I don't know. Are the cops going to protect me if these vigilante thugs that are in this town come and start assaulting people? So I was going to say this for the members on tomorrow's bonus episode, but I'll tell you, look, I was in Miami just a couple of days ago, and a bunch of young Jewish guys came up to me. Most of them were great. Don't worry about it. And you remember, not everyone knows what you know, right? So they might have heard, oh, Cenk's anti-Semitic because he doesn't think that Israel should slaughter innocent women and children in Gaza. Okay, of course, they didn't hear it like that. They heard it like, oh, he's an anti-Semite. Can you believe he's against Israel? So they come and ask me, and I tell them my real opinion. And all of them were totally fine. They understood. We shook hands. Great. That's America. That's how it's supposed to be. Then one guy comes up and says, I hear you're pro-Palestine. Yeah, I'm pro-Palestine. What, are you anti-Palestine? And he's like, oh, yeah, they had it coming. And I said, look, what are you talking about? Like, the other guys came and asked if I'm anti-Semitic or whatever it is. Okay, fine. They don't know. I answer the question. No problem. No problem. Okay. And I'm not a guy who's like very sensitive. I get attacked in public from time to time verbally, and I never sweat it. I don't make a big deal out of it. There's no giant drama. But this guy comes in with, are you pro-Palestine? And when I say, yeah, of course I'm in favor of Palestinians, I'm also in favor of Israelis. It doesn't matter. He's not listening. Then he goes on a racist rant against Muslims and said, because of what they did to us, they all had it coming. Okay, so now I don't know, though. In America, if that guy attacks me, if they attack the students at UCLA, are the cops just going to let him get away with it? Are those American cops, or do they serve another government? I'm asking legitimate questions. My family lives here in LA. Are we going to be protected, or only the Israeli side gets protected? I've said it 2,000 times, protect the Jewish students. Never enough, never enough. If you dare criticize the government, the right-wing government of Israel, they say, oh, no, that's it. You have no protection. You're an anti-Semite. We get to call you anything we want. We can call you racist and bigoted all day long, right? Well, guess what? I, too, can play at that game. And it's not a game, and it's real. Those people, the extremists on that side, and the people that constantly call everyone who criticizes Israel as anti-Semitic, I've never seen one of them that wasn't deeply racist against Muslims. Deeply racist. Where they think, so what? 25,000 dead women and children. Who cares? They're Muslims. They had it coming. Their lives are dirt. They're not worth anything. Now, is that everyone on the pro-Israel side? Of course not, guys. Of course not. There are tons of people who love Israel and who are brokenhearted about what is going on in Gaza. But if you're brokenhearted, don't smear the protesters. Join the protesters. And a lot of Jewish Americans have, and I love them for it. And so I got to go to that. But first, K. Lewis Martin, thank you for being a member. Lizzie Bennett, thank you for using Super Chat. And all the people that I missed, I'm sorry. I love you for it. I try to do member shout-outs and Super Chat shout-outs as I do this live. Obviously, I'm animated about this. But I want to say something about the peace protesters that are doing it all across college campuses. Two important things. Number one, for those of you, which is the overwhelming majority, 99% of you, that never harassed anyone, thank you for coming out and fighting for us. You never hear that in American media. In American media, for the last week, all I have seen is wall-to-wall propaganda smearing peace protesters. As, by the way, which they do every time. They did it in Vietnam. They did it during the civil rights movement. Every time they did it during the Iraq War. Every time there's peace protesters, they're agitators. They're the ones that are causing all the problems. The cops should beat them up. The cops should arrest them. It's always the violent side that pretends that the peace side are the violent ones. How dare they? And during the Iraq War, what did they call all the peace protesters? Pro-terrorists. Same playbook over and over and over and over and over again. And they'll find 1 or 2 instances or 7 instances out of a country of 330 million people. And they'll be like, they represent everybody. Those represent everybody. Really? Really? 3 people or 7 people represent the millions of peace protesters in the country? No, the only reason you would say that is if you want to smear the peace protesters. And almost everyone on TV is calling them anti-Semitic, even though a huge portion of the peace protesters are Jewish, because they don't care about what's true. All they care about is Israel must be protected. The holy, greatest country in the world, Israel must be protected. Brothers and sisters, this is the United States of America. It isn't the United States of Israel. I don't know who the media and the politicians think they're serving, but they're not serving the citizens. And by the way, you know what they've done? They've now animated the left wing and the right wing, basically all the American people, except look, a lot of good folks that are in the older generations, but as a percentage, they watch a lot more TV. And those folks that watch TV that are older, totally brainwashed. And to be fair to them, what do they know? They're not on social media. They're not getting actual news. They're getting the propaganda of Morning Joe, the vomitous, racist propaganda of Morning Joe and Bill Maher. And they're thinking, oh my God, it's Israel that's in danger. If you watched American news, you would think that Tel Aviv was destroyed. You would think 34,000 Israelis are dead. You would think 25,000 women and children in Israel have been slaughtered. No, on October 7th, when they were murdered and killed and slaughtered, 1,200 Israelis, 860 of them at least civilians. We were outraged and we said it was wrong. Can we at least get someone on the other side to say, oh, you know what? Oh, I see what you're saying. 1,200 killed is terrible. And we say it's the worst thing that's ever happened since the Holocaust. Terrible, terrible. And you agree. I agree. Definitely terrible. But then you turn around and say 34,000 killed, not terrible. Perfectly fine. In fact, we should do more. Israel should do more. 25,000 women and children slaughtered. No, perfectly fine. No problem. No problem. They just have a right to defend themselves. Do the Palestinians have a right to defend themselves? No, they're all terrorists. Come on, man. The racism against Muslims in this country, not in the population, because now the population is going, oh, what? The right wing's going, wait, I can't criticize a foreign government? I'm going to be arrested if I criticize a foreign government? What the hell's going on here, right? So, but the American politicians and the American media, they hate Muslims. And if that hurts your feelings, how about you stop hating Muslims and spreading hatred against us 24/7? If you look, I grew up in America as a person who was born Muslim. My ethnic background's Muslim. My family's Muslim. And all I've ever seen on TV is Muslims are bad, evil, terrorists. Terrorists for what? It makes it sound like Iraq attacked America instead of America attacking Iraq. No, they're gaslighting you. American media at large, totally, utterly gaslighting you. Iraq never attacked America. America attacked Iraq. Iraq didn't kill hundreds of thousands of Americans. America killed hundreds of thousands of Iraqis. Israel isn't being occupied by the Palestinians. It's occupying the Palestinians. The Palestinians don't have 5.5 million hostages that they've kept in occupation open-air prisons for 57 years. Israel did that. So when we have 100 some odd hostages, I don't know how many of them are left alive, our hearts break for those Israeli hostages. And we say those hostages should be released. Can we get any kind of counter to that and say, oh, yeah, Cenk, you're right. Maybe they should let go of the 5.5 million hostages that they have. Why are the Palestinians the only people on earth denied freedom, denied sovereignty? Because the mighty Israel has decreed it so, and American media and politicians must obey. And they are, guys. They are. Just turn on your TV and you'll see them 24/7 smearing anyone who's against Israel, wantonly calling them anti-Semites with no proof in 99% of the cases. Okay, well, Joe Scarborough, you're a vicious racist against Muslims. I've seen you doing it 2,000 times. Mika Brzezinski yesterday saying that peace protesters are like the January 6th protesters. Smear after smear after smear. We're sick of it. Mika, you're racist against Muslims. And I'm not saying bigoted. I know bigoted is the correct term. No, that term is not mean enough, to be honest. It deserves for these people to be called out for who they are. They're vicious racists. They hate Muslims. And I can't stand it anymore. And so back to the protesters, last things here. And as you guys are being wonderful, Dan R., thank you for gifting the membership. Edwin Silverblade, thank you for the super chat. Look, and you're going to get all the 6 o'clock tonight, okay? We have all the details, all the news for you guys, actual honest reporting, okay? But to all the overwhelming majority of this peace protesters, thank you for standing up for someone that isn't you. Thank you for standing up for Muslims when no one else in the country would. Thank you for standing up for Palestinians when no one else in the world would. Thank you for risking your reputation, your college career, your whole life, risking getting arrested, expelled, all of this so that you could help save Palestinian lives. Let me do what no one in American media does. Thank you. Thank you for being wonderful, decent people trying to actually get to peace and to save those innocent lives in Gaza. You're not the worst of us. You're the best of us. I don't care if you're going to find one or two more videos to smear them. I don't care. 99% of them are people with great hearts who are trying to make a difference in the world and to end the slaughter. And finally, don't lose hope. Because every set of peace protesters in this country, in my lifetime, and even earlier than that, have always been smeared, have always been attacked by the media, have always been attacked by the politicians and the powerful. But guess what? We've also always won in the end. So those protesters in 1968, 1972 at Columbia, they won in the end. They animated the country and got them to realize that the Vietnam War was a disaster. The civil rights movement in the 1960s, yes, they got beat. They got dogs sicked on them. They got viciously attacked. And then they were called names. And they were called the criminals. And they did civil disobedience anyway. And at the end, they won through their courage. So if you're out there and you are peacefully protesting against what Israel is doing now, you're going to win. You're going to move the country to a place of decency and morality. Not against Israel. No, we want a two-state solution so that we could have wonderful, peaceful, lovely Palestine and Israel. And then we could go visit both and live in peace and harmony. That's what our goal is. And if you're fighting for that goal, thank you, thank you, thank you. And stay strong, because no matter what they do to you, you move the world. And I appreciate you for it. All right. I love you guys. Thank you to everybody who wrote in, including Nikita just now. Shows live at 6 o'clock, as it is Monday through Friday, every day, 6 o'clock Eastern, youtube.com/the Young Turks. We'll see you there.